There's one name that changes everything in Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. And right now, all eyes are locked on his return. The whispers about his health? They're getting louder as training camp creeps closer. But let's be real, this isn't just any QB coming back from injury. This is the face of the Bengals franchise. Burrow's story isn't just about comebacks. It's about rewriting the record books in stripes. And if you're wondering why the buzz is so real this time, it's because this might just be the most dangerous version of Joe Burrow we've seen yet. Before we break it all down, do us a solid. If you bleed orange and black, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and don't forget to turn on the bell, because you won't want to miss a single update this season. All right, let's get into it. Burrow's journey hasn't been smooth. Torn ACL as a rookie, a brutal wrist injury last season. He was lighting up defenses before that injury shut it all down. But now, for the first time in a long time, no injury concerns, no setbacks. Just a fully healthy Joe Burrow, locked in and ready. And in a week where the headlines are full of noise, contract drama around Trey Hendrickson, questions about Shamar Stewart, the real story is at 9. Because when Burrow is healthy, the Bengals aren't just competitive, they're contenders. This isn't just opinion, as Christopher Knox from Bleacher Report put it. Yes, Burrow didn't get to finish the season last year, but when he's on the field, he's lethal. We're talking nearly 5,000 passing yards, 43 touchdowns, and a shot at greatness every time he touches the ball. When Joe Burrow is on the field, the Bengals are a different beast. Just look at the pattern. In the 2 seasons he's been fully healthy, Cincinnati made it all the way to the AFC Championship. But in the 2 years where injuries cut his season short, the Bengals slipped to the bottom of the AFC North. That's not a coincidence. That's the Burrow effect. Last season could have been historic. He was playing at an MVP level before the wrist injury shut everything down. We're talking laser-sharp throws, clutch plays, and complete control of the offense. If Cincinnati had squeaked into the playoffs, Burrow would have easily been in the top 3 MVP conversation, maybe even the favorite. Instead, the Bengals finished 9-8. No postseason. And let's be honest, it wasn't all on Burrow. The defense struggled. The offensive line cracked under pressure. The run game couldn't pick up steam. There were times when defenders were bursting through untouched, leaving Burrow to work miracles on every snap. And still, he delivered. He made throws no one else in the league is making. He turned broken plays into highlights. He carried the Bengals when everything else was falling apart. And that's why there's so much hope heading into next season. Because if Burrow is fully healthy, if the line gives him even average protection, if the defense finds its rhythm, this team is right back in the Super Bowl hunt. And we haven't even mentioned what kind of chaos Trey Hendrickson could unleash if he stays locked in. If there was one bright spot on that struggling Bengals defense last season, it was Trey Hendrickson. And his current contract situation is something every fan is watching like a hawk. Because let's be real, losing a player like that would leave a massive hole in this defense's identity. But while the Hendrickson drama unfolds, one truth overshadows everything else. Joe Burrow is healthy, and that changes everything. Think back to what he pulled off last year. 43 passing touchdowns, over 4,400 yards, a 74.7 QBR. And that's with a patched-up O-line and a defense that couldn't find its rhythm. Burrow also added rushing scores and played all 17 games. And the craziest part? He wasn't even fully back. That's right. Burrow recently admitted something eye-opening. I still wasn't quite back to throwing it the way I expect. It's improved this year, and it will continue to improve as I take more reps and get that rhythm back. Let that sink in. He dominated the league, and he wasn't even at 100%. Now we head into 2025 with a healthy Burrow, reunited with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and a young offensive core that's hungry. The chemistry is already there. The timing is coming back, and the season hasn't even started. If that doesn't get Bengals fans fired up, nothing will. Because when Burrow hits full stride, not recovering, not adjusting, but fully locked in. This offense becomes a nightmare for every defense in the league. At this point, you have to ask, what more can Joe Burrow do? Every season, he finds a way to raise the bar. And if last year, with all the chaos, the wrist injury, the pressure, wasn't even him at full strength, then buckle up, Bengals fans, because what's coming could be special. Remember, Burrow himself said it. I'm learning new things every day, refining my motion, refining everything about what I'm doing out there. That's a quarterback who's obsessed with getting better, even after already performing at an elite level. He's listening to his body, pacing his recovery smartly, and still grinding through the offseason. That tells you exactly where his mindset is, laser focused on a Super Bowl run. And the best part? His weapons are still here. A year ago, the narrative was that Higgins had one foot out the door. Fans were bracing for it. But now, he's locked in. Ja'Marr Chase isn't going anywhere either. That duo, paired with a fully healthy Joe Burrow, makes this one of the most dangerous offenses in the entire league. It's wild to think how close the Bengals were last year, even with a hobbled QB and a defense that couldn't finish games. If Burrow stays healthy and the defense steps up just a little, this team's not just a playoff contender. They're a legitimate threat to win it all. Because let's face it, when #9 is under center, the Bengals believe they can beat anyone. Let's not forget, it wasn't just the offense and defense that had issues last season. Special teams took a hit too. Evan McPherson, once the clutch hero of the Bengals Super Bowl run, had a noticeably down year. Missed kicks, missed opportunities. And in tight AFC North battles, those misses can be the difference between a playoff berth and watching from home. Now, no kicker is perfect every year, and McPherson still has one of the most powerful legs in the game. But if Cincinnati's going to take that next step again, he needs to rebound. No one's asking him to drill 60-yarders every week, but consistency in clutch moments? That's non-negotiable. And honestly, that's the theme for this entire Bengals team heading into 2025. Refocus, regroup, and respond. Burrow's sounding confident. The injury cloud that hovered over him for months is finally clearing. Ja'Marr Chase's contract situation? Handled. Higgins? Still in the building. The distractions are out of the way. And now it's all about football. That's a dangerous combination. If this team shows up sharper, if the offensive line stabilizes, if the defense finds rhythm, and if McPherson gets back to form, then there's no ceiling. Even if Burrow just matches last year's numbers, the Bengals are in a position to make serious noise. Because when all the pieces fall into place in Cincinnati, they don't just compete, they dominate.